Just sorry to interrupt, but I think he's pardoned fewer people along those lines than any president in modern history.
Absolutely. And so there are all these people, some people who were released because of COVID under compassionate release. He can go ahead and give them clemency right now and commute their sentences. There are people who are elderly, they can be commuted. There's a woman from Detroit named Michelle West. She's been in jail since 1993 for a crime where the perpetrator of the crime is now never even went to jail. And she's still sitting in jail, and the daughter of the victim has asked that she be released. So there are all these people who are out there who can be taken care of if the president would get at it. And from a political perspective, if I were in the White House, I would have said the day after you pardoned Hunter Biden, they should have pardoned everyone else they could. Dropped a big load of pardons out there. So it's not just the privilege, it's also the people out there who need to be taken care of.
Obviously, every parent would do whatever they could for their children. We all know that. But were you displeased at all with the Hunter Biden pardon? The fact that he said he wasn't going to do it, the fact that he attacked his own Justice Department while doing so?
I was surprised because he had said that he would not do it. We all understand that this is a father who loves his son, and I believe it's contributed greatly to what we have watched President Biden go through. But I agree with Jamal. This is the issue now. We cannot just pardon people that have access to privilege. We need to be looking at this in a far broader way.
It was a total disgrace. He's leaving office in disgrace because of this pardon. And it's not just the pardon, it's the lying. Lied to the American people. According to NBC News, he and his top aides hatched a plan to lie to the American people. And then this week, he didn't even have the guts to go out to the White House podium and take questions about it. He sent Karine Jean-Pierre out there, who was also a part of the lying. And then she continued to gaslight the American people and the media. The American people ought to be pissed. But the media, the people who cover this White House, ought to be absolutely livid at the gaslighting and then the continued gaslighting and the hostility towards the idea of transparency. This is a monumental disgrace. You think 39% job approval is low? Wait until we test him as he leaves office. He's going out of office as one of the least liked and most divisive presidents we've ever had.
And candidly, many of us who are institutionalists criticize Trump for coming after the Department of Justice and saying it's politicized, you can't trust it. And the language in the statement pardoning Biden could have been written by Donald Trump. This was his own attorney general that he handpicked. These were career officials within the Department of Justice who did their job without fear or favor. And it felt like Biden is leaving, kind of just echoing the same sentiment that too much of this country believes, which is that you can't trust our institutions and our chief law enforcement.
He was elected to cure Trump, and he leaves office sounding like what Trump's enemies say he sounds like.
Well, let me just say this. Let's not get too self-righteous about this, right? If you walk into a boxing match and you find out the person you're fighting is an MMA fighter, sooner or later you got to take the gloves off and get into the fight. I think what they have discovered in the White House is that everyone else is playing by these very pristine rules, while Trump is doing whatever he wants to do, whatever the heck he wants to do.
And
they've got to. Yeah, but he's saying it.
The statement wasn't, "I fear that Kash Patel will come after my son." It was, "This was essentially politicized Department of Justice."
He said his own Department of Justice is corrupt. He said the Department of Justice is corrupt.
You can talk about the past if you want. I'm talking about the future, and the question is: are you going to leave? Are you going to leave all of your people, your family, and your staff up to the place where Donald Trump and his henchmen can go after them in a political way at the Justice Department?
Yeah,
you shouldn't do it.
One just last note, I just want to acknowledge, Alyssa, you have you come from Syrian heritage, and we're all praying for a better day and a better future for the people of Syria, who deserve so much better than what Assad gave them. So let's hope. We'll be right back.